Scientists explain how to communicate with cats properly. Don't know how to deal with cats? One simple thing can help. A recent study has revealed that the best way to communicate with a furry friend is a feline-like smile, just like cats do that. In fact, all that's needed for the facial expression is a simple narrowing of one's eyes and blinking slowly. Felinologists long theorized that such gestures make cats feel comfortable enough that they might be willing to approach a human, even if this exact person is unfamiliar to the animal. A team of researchers from the UK decided to prove this hunch and conducted several tests. In the first experiment, researchers selected a group of cats and asked their owners to slow blink at kitties while they were looking. The interaction was recorded on cameras and showed that felines responded with slow blinking. During the second experiment, the cats were presented with people they never saw before. The participants slowly blinked when a cat looked at them and extended their hand towards the pet. As results proved, the cats not only blinked back, but also were more likely to approach the human subject's hand in this situation. It is something you can try yourself with your own cat at home or with cats you meet in the street. It's a great way of enhancing the bond you have with cats. Try narrowing your eyes at them as you would in a relaxed smile, followed by closing your eyes for a couple of seconds. You'll find they respond in the same way themselves, and you can start a sort of conversation. Karen McComb, co-author of the study and professor in animal behavior and cognition at the University of Sussex, said. A fellow author of the paper, Tasneem Humphrey, labeled cats an understudied species and took the opportunity to express hope that their research will improve feline welfare. The study was published in the peer-reviewed journal Scientific Reports. China wins WHO Public Health Award for Elderly Health Care Promotion. A national center under the Chinese Center for Disease Control and Prevention was honored Friday with a Public Health Award by the World Health Organization, WHO, for its contribution to promoting health care for the elderly. The WHO awarded the 2023 Public Health Prizes and Awards to individuals and institutions worldwide at the ongoing 76th World Health Assembly in Geneva. China's National Center for Chronic and Non-Communicable Disease Control and Prevention, NCNCD, was presented the His Highness Sheikh Sabah Al Ahmed Al Jaber Al Sabah Prize for Research in Health Care for the Elderly and in Health Promotion, as the center has hosted a department dedicated to the health of older people since 2013 and delivers a broad range of programs and activities that advance health promotion for the group, said the WHO. The major work of the center includes better understanding the causes of morbidity and mortality through national surveillance for non-communicable diseases, surveys, death registration, and research, promoting health literacy and evidence-based policies via tailored programs, and capacity building of 2,000 primary health care staff. It has launched a senior-specific toolkit and a health advocacy week for the elderly, and also initiated an innovative project to improve the mental and cognitive health of more than 500,000 older people in urban and rural areas. The Chinese often say that filial devotion is the most important of all virtues. Respecting and loving older people has always been a traditional virtue of the Chinese people for thousands of years, NCNCD Director Wu Jing said at the award ceremony. Wu noted that great importance has been attached by the Chinese government to elderly health, which has implemented the healthy aging strategy and integrated the concept of healthy aging into the entire process of social and economic development. Dr. Ablami Saibai, Dean of the Faculty of Health Sciences at the American University of Beirut in Lebanon, was also awarded the prize for her outstanding contribution to older people's health in Lebanon and the region, developing a holistic approach to the promotion of healthy aging. The award of the State of Kuwait Health Promotion Foundation is set for those who have made an outstanding contribution to research in the areas of health care for the elderly and in health promotion. Kuwait's Health Minister Dr. Ahmed Al-Awadi told the World Health Assembly that he hopes the award will serve as an incentive for more innovation and contributions to promote global solidarity to safeguard the rights of the elderly to health care. In our joint effort to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals. Astronomers detect Betelgeuse star acting strange, again. The red supergiant Betelgeuse continues to experience feverish activity after a coronal mass ejection of 400 billion times that of our Sun in 2019. After the Great Dimming 4 years ago, scientists have detected a sudden sharp increase in luminosity being emitted by the red giant Betelgeuse, with the star sighting at 142% of its normal brightness level. Observations of Betelgeuse over the last 200 years have proved that the star has been periodically changing brightness, with astronomers making note of two distinct brightness cycles, the longest of which lasted over a 5.9-year cycle and a 400-day cycle. Betelgeuse, the largest red giant star of this type known to us, was usually the 10th brightest star in the sky. This year, however, Betelgeuse became the 7th brightest star. In April, officials detected a peak brightness reading at 156%. One of the coolest things about Betelgeuse is that we're watching the final stages of big star evolution play out almost in real time for us, which we've never really been able to study in this much depth before, Sarah Webb, an astrophysicist at Swinburne University of Technology in Australia, said. Officials have underscored that Betelgeuse is hardly on the cusp of turning into a supernova, with the red giant's brightness likely to return to normal by the end of the decade. In fact, officials believe the after-effects of the Great Dimming were so profound that it's what's likely causing the star to temporarily experience a spike in cosmic brilliance. The Great Dimming saw the star eject an incredible mass of its matter, firstly, causing its upper layer to change dramatically and, secondly, allowing the matter to cool in space and turn into a dust cloud that obscured the star from researchers' view. The event saw the star's brightness plummet by nearly 25%. However, officials have underscored that a supernova of Betelgeuse may be tens or even hundreds of thousands of years away. The preprint of the article's findings can be accessed through AR-14 service. Fossilized dinosaur footprints found in North China. A total of 53 fossilized dinosaur footprints dating back to about 120 million years ago were discovered in North China's Inner Mongolia Autonomous Region, according to local authorities. The continuous footprints were found in the Otok Dinosaur Trace National Nature Reserve during the researchers' rescue excavation work. The distinguishable footprints, with the biggest measuring 43 centimeters long, varied in depths from 1 to 3 centimeters. The area used to be a wetland with lakes and luxuriant plants in the Cretaceous period, when dinosaurs lived there, said local researcher Zhang Lifu. The 53 newly discovered footprints were left by carnivorous dinosaurs, said Zhang. Located in the city of Ordos, the Otok Dinosaur Trace National Nature Reserve is the only national nature reserve in China featuring dinosaur traces, covering an area of 46,410 hectares. Nearly 10,000 traces of more than 10 types left by dinosaurs were discovered there, as well as fossils of paleovertebrates, fish, turtles, crocodiles, invertebrates, etc. Deng Xiaoping, an official with the Western Ordos National Nature Reserve Management Authority, said that they are doing protection work for the fossils. The discovery will be significant for better understanding the dinosaurs' features, such as their walking posture, speed, and size, as well as conservation measures for such fossils. Super Typhoon Mawar to become most powerful storm on Earth in more than 2 years. On Wednesday, the storm moved north of Guam as a Category 4 cyclone. Since then, it has swelled to a Category 5 storm and is on track to become one of the top 10 strongest storms to occur globally since 2000. Super Typhoon Mawar is now picking up speed and is set to become one of the most powerful storms in history, forecasters have warned. The storm, which lashed the north of Guam earlier in the week, has sustained winds of nearly 200 miles per hour, and has created waves that are 70 feet tall. While the eye of the storm missed the U.S. territory, Guam still encountered strong winds and torrential rain, leaving its 168,000 residents with water supply issues, damage, possible flooding and power outages. No deaths and no injuries were reported following the storm. U.S. President Joe Biden approved a disaster declaration late on Thursday for the island territory. By Friday morning, Mawar had sustained winds of 165 miles per hour. While the island's typhoon warning was lifted Thursday at 5 p.m., the storm is continuing to churn in the direction of Taiwan while maintaining its Category 5 strength. However, the system is expected to eventually weaken as it approaches the East Asian country. The storm may also veer near Japan by early next week. Typhoons are typically created when winds blow into areas of the ocean where the water is warm, and as cold air mixes in it creates pressure, causing the wind to move more quickly. Phyllis, a typhoon recorded on May 29, 1958, is just one other West Pacific typhoon in the National Weather Service's database with wind speeds as powerful as Mawar. Software malfunction caused April crash of Lunar landing module, ispace. Japan's ispace earlier detailed that its effort to mark the first private moon landing on Earth's satellite was unsuccessful after officials lost contact with the lander. Preliminary details suggested at the time that the vessel had unexpectedly accelerated onto the lunar surface. A software glitch was the cause of the crash of a Japanese ispace Hakuto-R Mission 1 lander during its attempted landing on the moon last month, an investigation conducted by ispace has confirmed. The company held a news conference to announce the completion of its analysis on Friday. The Hakuto-R Mission 1 lander successfully executed its planned landing sequence, gradually decelerating to a speed of approximately 2 miles per hour. It remained about 3 miles above the lunar surface. However, after depleting its fuel, the spacecraft hurtled downward, crashing into the Atlas crater at a speed exceeding 200 miles per hour. NASA contributed to the investigation by releasing images taken by its Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter, which snapped pictures of the crash site. Hardware or software? The investigation revealed the software responsible for guiding the descent lost track of the lander's altitude upon passing over the rim of a crater on the moon's surface, which was approximately 2 miles higher than the surrounding terrain. The software mistakenly determined that the altitude sensor had malfunctioned and disregarded accurate altitude measurements. Fortunately, the examination determined that the spacecraft's other hardware components operated as intended, indicating the overall design's soundness. The focus now rests on rectifying the software issue, which is generally a more manageable task than significant hardware overhauls. Ryo Ujiya, the Chief Technology Officer of ispace, emphasized during the Friday presser that the failure was not due to a hardware malfunction, eliminating the need for modifications on that front. Although the spacecraft's landing software was developed by the Draper Laboratory of Cambridge, Massachusetts, ispace took responsibility for the crash, as the software was written to meet the company's requirements. Improper changes? The crash can also be attributed, at least in part, to a decision by ispace to change the landing site after finalizing the spacecraft's design earlier in 2021. Lacus Somniorum, a flat plain, was originally selected as the landing site. However, the company later opted for Atlas, a large impact crater spanning over 50 miles in diameter, after considering it to be a more captivating destination. As a consequence, the landing software was not adequately equipped to handle the change in altitude since the spacecraft passed over the rim of the crater. This oversight was not caught during simulations. Lunar prospects. Takeshi Hakamada, the founder and chief executive of ispace, announced the company's upcoming missions remain mostly unaffected by the crash. The firm has a near-identical lander planned for next year and a larger spacecraft expected to be launched to the far side of the moon in 2025. Hakamada expressed confidence in the company's ability to enhance future missions based on the insights gained from this failure. He also mentioned the company had obtained insurance for the lander that minimized financial impacts, which were estimated at approximately $710,000 loss. We have a very clear picture of how to improve our future missions, Hakamada said. Looking ahead, several other spacecraft are scheduled to launch to the moon later this year. Under a NASA program that involves partnering with private companies to transport scientific instruments to the lunar surface, Astrobotic Technology of Pittsburgh and Intuitive Machines of Houston are set to send their respective spacecraft to the moon in the coming months. Additionally, the Indian Space Agency recently announced plans for Chandrayaan-3, a follow-up mission to its unsuccessful moon landing attempt in 2019, with a potential launch date as early as July 12.